I am Many Ninjas, and this is my playthrough of Double Dragon Neon on the Double Dragon difficulty, otherwise known as the hardest difficulty. Be forewarned that this particular take on the Double Dragon series is not quite like the other titles in the franchise, as the art direction by Gensman takes a decidedly different turn, ranging from some actually rather tasteful designs, and of the, in this case, some sounds from Evil Cast, and then we get Linda Lodge here, who kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. Leg warmers. Anywho, let's start at the top right here with Mission 1, and pretty much any fan of the franchise knows where this is going to go. If your name is Marion, this does not end well for you. And we have the hit spark for emphasis. That's gonna hurt a little.
Marion? Oh man, not this again.
Oh, come on, Billy. Look on the bright side. We've got some colorful graphics here, an excellent soundtrack made by Earth, and name cards for assorted foes on your latest misadventure here. In fact, Billy, you know something? You should actually be rather thankful for this particular adventure, because last I checked, last time, you didn't exactly have a voice, or a dive kick, or an axe kick for that matter. I don't recall you being able to punch your foes going down to kill them a little easier, and last but not least, you definitely couldn't juggle them in midair. So you know what? In your world, things are pretty good. You know who's not having a good time right now? The assorted Williamses. You're beating the crap out of Fred. They are not having such a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Linda. Hello there, Linda. Goodbye, Linda. And on we go.
Naughty, naughty.
Since we're on the subject of Linda, here's a little thing you might not notice when you're actually playing through the game yourself. For most of the villain models, they happen to have different appearances, mostly in the form of alternate color schemes. In Linda's case, though, her alternate color schemes also include different tattoos which happen to appear on her chest. Mind you, even with all those different slight changes to Linda's design, the overall villain archetype that will have the most changes as the game goes on will actually be Williams himself. As you can see on the previous screen, there were actually two different types of villains, regular William and the Afro variant, and there'll be quite a few more as the game goes on. Your standard laws of the beat-em-up universe still apply here. If you beat up scenery, odds are you will pick up power-ups in the form of extra health, extra cash in this case, as well as some of other little goodies, which come very useful coming into foes like the Abobo here. Fortunately, Linda was kind enough to donate her whip, which is good at keeping Abobo at bay. Why do I emphasize keeping Abobo at bay? Because quite frankly, he is the master of the Phantom Punch. The hitboxes given to his punches here are quite generous, which while it might not be so noticeable there as I dispatch him fairly easily, will become more clear as the game goes on. And onward to this particular segment of the stage, which as you can see at the bottom of the screen, there's a conveyor belt. Side note, I'm playing the PS3 version of this title, which doesn't have anything particularly special about the conveyor belt, but for those playing the 360 version, there actually is an achievement related to knocking a certain foe off the conveyor belt, in pretty much a callback to the original Double Dragon game on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And pretty much as you can see, pretty easy to get rid of Williams in any shape or form, even in the weapon-wielding form or not, which by the way gives him a little bit of extra auto guard. And we have a Bobo here, who comes to interrupt the scene as per always. And this Bobo headbutt was brought to you by me forgetting that I didn't actually have enough special power in order to pull off the spin kick needed to avoid that. Anywho, moving on. Every stage that doesn't have an actual boss at the end has one of these special bonus balls, which you can beat around the stage and juggle pretty easily if you haven't have a second player handy in order to get some extra items in the forms of either extra cash or mixtapes to help power up your moves later. And there goes Mission 1. As far as first stages go, that's a pretty good warm-up to help you warm into the gameplay. And since it was actually short enough, let's jump right into the second mission right now. Just to point it out there, one particular characteristic of the Double Dragon mode is that enemies have their health and damage amped up to the point where, in this case for the health, enemies that could previously be dispatched easily with a barrel toss, which I'll demonstrate here, do not necessarily die and actually require extra hits. On Dragon mode, both Williams and Linda would have died on there, while in this case, to actually dispatch them with the barrel, I need to get at least one more hit first, in this case done by the Williams toss, in order to actually finish the Lindas. Mind you, Williams being willing still, will die in the one hit. Just in case you're wondering how I managed to get away with spamming the spin kick as much as I do, I actually am utilizing a maxed out version of the Magic Gambit stance for this particular playthrough, which I built up during the playthrough to Dragon mode. Reason why for the Magic stance? Maxed out MP points, which allow me to spam the move as much as physically possible. Not to say that the Magic Gambit doesn't have a downside. For example, its damage rating is actually really above average, but not by much, and definitely lackluster compared to something like the Power Gambit, which maxes out your attack potential. But I'd say the ability to spam specials, which in this case including Spin Kick, involves a move that once actually started up becomes irrelevant, is a good trade-off, especially when dealing with crowd control. Why thank you, generous garbage can. That one-up might come in handy later.
It's go time.
While the game has been so generous in order to donate some more cannon fun in the form of a few more Williams and Lindas, I should take this time to mention that odds are in this particular mode, your deaths will not be experienced as a result of villains, but rather odd hazards such as the garbage can, which just pegged me for a good amount of damage, as well as some other obstacles that will be popping up as the game goes on. In fact, I'd probably say more of my deaths in this particular mode have been a result of those hazards rather than actually getting beat up. Fortunately for my little oversight there, the game is generous enough at this point still to actually give a nice power-up in the form of a full health bottle right after finishing that fighting sequence. And now moving on to one of the last parts of this particular stage. Still roaming the streets here. Generally quiet here. A nice pit in order to knock a Williams to. Fortunately, no extra goods from that garbage can. On this here part is the tape smith, which you'll be needing in order to upgrade your mixtapes later. I'll explain that as it goes on. And here we find ourselves confronted by another group of mostly generic foes. This pose is pretty much the standard pair that's been brought up to this point. A few more Williams, a few more Lindas, and after dispatching the first group, we have a Williams, a Linda, and an Abobo. Alright, the Bobo has some limited invulnerability himself during his swings. Alright, lesson noted. Let's get him back up. And okay, that punch clearly missed me, but apparently credited him with the hit anyway. And apparently his hit can cancel out the first bit of the spin kick. Alright, that particular trash can was also kind enough to give some extra power up.
I think they went in there. It seems like a trap, but I gotta find Marion.
You know, it's been a while since I played the original Double Dragon games, but I don't seem to remember them having many rockets in the old games. Especially not rocket dojos. This is new to me.
Man, this was a trap. Marion! Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare! Skullmageddon! How about you?
I'm pretty sure this is actually a job for Prince Adam, but since he's not around, we'll just have to do the job this time. Side note, In the Xbox 360 version, there's an achievement specifically hitting Scum again here with the Afropet, which also has the extra special ability of disabling some of his special attacks. But in the PSN version, you actually have to hit at least one of each unique type of enemy with the Afropet in order to get the special there. Which now to know that particular achievement also exists in the 360 version, but it also has the bonus one that's Scum again specific. Done here, and oh, he got me that time. Oh, he can't be too much longer there. Okay. Well, crap, that sucks. If I had actually managed to successfully dodge the last time around, I would have actually killed him without losing a life there. Well, better luck next time. And after that flamboyant exit, we have finished Mission 2. One life down, but generally still in pretty good shape. Alright there, looking on the time for this video, I believe now is a good time to take a break. And next time we'll return with more Double Dragon in space.